you gonna do? Yeah. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden rule. So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you must get cool. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? You chuck it on that one, you chuck it on this one, you chuck it on your mother and you chuck it on your father, you chuck it on your brother and you chuck it on your sister, you chuck it on that one and you chuck it on me. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you
Hey, Nature Boy, if you're ready, if you're able to name the artist of the song that I play next, I'll be impressed.
No break, police now give you no break. That old soldier man, I give you no break. Not even your eyes, now give you no breaks. Hey, bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? So mean. Don't you know you're a human being, born of a mother with the love of a father? Reflection comes and reflection goes. I know sometimes you wanna let go. Hey, I know sometimes you wanna let go. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You're too bad. You're too rude. You're too bad. You're too rude. Yeah. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You chuck it on that one, you chuck it on.
Yeah, I just did ours yesterday, Traveling Fools.
You chuck it on your brother and you chuck it on your sister. You chuck it on that one and you chuck it on me. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys.
Hey, everybody. The show starts in a few short minutes. Make sure you hit the thumbs up because YouTube really cares, even if me and Rodge and Officer Rucker do not.
Suspects are musically armed, dangerous.
Call the police, police, I'm about to make a hit. Call the police, heart is about to quit. Call the police, yo. Hey, the police, yo. I'm about to make a hit. Hey. Call the police, heart is about to quit. Jump off my stool, out of my corner. May I have the floor to say? I play the fool to catch the wiser. No, I've got a matter that guilty must pay.
Nice job, Nature Boy.
Police, I'm about to make a hit.
We need to get Nature Boy on the Traveling Fools late night trivia show. He when it comes to music, he knows all the bands.
Call the police, yo. Hey, the police, yo. I'm about to make a hit. Hey. Call the police, heart is about to quit. Don't single me out as worst offender. My words and my actions are clear. conscience in fear. Call the police, 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 police. I'm about to make a hit. Call the police, 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 police. Heart is about to quit. Call the police, yo. Call your police, yo. I'm about to make a hit. Hey, 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 hey. Call the police, 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 police. Heart is about to quit. Jump off my stool, out of my corner. May I have the floor to say? I play the fool to catch no eyes. No, I've got a matter that guilty must pay. Call the police, 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 police. I'm about to make a hit. Call the police, 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 police. Heart is about to quit. Call the police, yo. Call your police, yo. I'm about to make a hit. Call the police, 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 police. Heart is about to quit. Ah. Don't stop me now. Don't wreck behind me. Don't search me out. I ain't got nothing on me. Don't look for me, 'cause you will never find me. I've got 3 years and more in a pen to remind me. Call the police, yo. Call your police, yo. I'm about to make a hit. Call the police, 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 police. Heart is about to quit. Call the police, yo. Call the police, yo. I'm about to make a hit. Call the police, 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 police. Heart is about to quit.
Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the show. A special edition of the Midday Show, a simulcast of sorts. I won't waste any time because we are doing sort of a duo here with the show. I'm joined by, everybody knows Rodge Light. We affectionately call him Rodge. And we have a very special guest. And I don't want to get your rank wrong. I'm referring to you as Officer Rucker. Is that right? Oh, he's Mr. Rucker. You have your microphone's on mute. There it is.
Okay.
There you are.
Do it through my podcast.
Yes.
Oh man, so you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, we got you now.
We got you now.
Okay, great. Yeah, I am an officer, but I do have a podcast. So
Yes.
the name of my podcast is Chin Waggin' with Ruck.
Yes, Chin Waggin' with Ruck. So tell us about your podcast.
Well, my podcast, I talk about any and everything up under the sun. There's nothing too little or too large to talk about. I don't believe in silence, so we talk about anything on the podcast.
That's great. That's exactly the kind of podcast that I like listening to. So let me give a little bit of a backstory here of how this happened, because everybody knows we do the Slob softball game at Rodge's place in Statham, Georgia, right? That's where you are, Rodge.
Well, it pronounced Statham.
Statham. I'm sorry. Statham, Georgia. And so we did the Slob softball game, and because Rodge wanted to drink cold beer, he had to go through the police department to get some police officers to make sure that we weren't a bunch of drunk, delinquent idiots out there. And so they were charged to babysit us, basically. Is that right?
Yeah, you are correct. That we were charged to babysit. You got to make sure that everything stayed up and up.
All right. So anyway, so after the game was over, we were doing the cookout. And so how many officers were there? Was it you and two other guys, wasn't it?
It was just me and one other guy.
You and one other guy. Okay. So anyway, they came up and started talking to us, and this gentleman here said, "Hey, I got a podcast. I'd like to do something with you guys." And so, of course, that was amazing and fantastic. So here we are. We're doing something.
Great. And I sure appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on your platform so I can have y'all on my platform.
Yes, absolutely. So since it's sort of a simul podcasting, I want to ask you some questions, and then you're welcome to talk to me, ask me questions, interview me for your podcast, however you want to do it. That's fine with me.
That sounds great.
All right. So my first question for you is how you got into this thing, because we all have a backstory of how we got into podcasting or YouTubing or whatever. Everyone sort of has their own story. So what possessed you to one day say, you know what, I'm going to do a podcast?
That's a good question. Well, I started out doing a YouTube channel like you guys. And because every job that I work at, we have great, intense conversations. We talk about any and everything. And it just dawned on me that it'd be great to broadcast conversation that I have with my coworkers. So I decided to get a YouTube channel. And I still somewhat have the YouTube channel. It's called Let's Talk with Tracy. And I did maybe 3 or 4 episodes, but I was having difficulties trying to coordinate my videographer and my episodes. So I tried to think of something that I could do all by myself, that I don't have to depend on no one. I can just do it myself. Mm-hmm. And I thought about podcasting. So here I am.
So what platforms are you on? Where can people find this podcast?
I'm on all platforms. If you have an iPhone, I'm there. You have an Android, I'm there. So whatever platform that you listen to your podcast on, I'm on it. You just have to Google or search Chin Wagon with Ruck, all one word.
Let's make sure we get the spelling right on that so people can find it. It's CHIN, Chin, wagging or waggin? Which one is it?
Wagging, WAGGING.
Okay. And then with Ruck, RUCK.
Yes.
Okay. So that's how you find him. I don't know. I don't want to get too personal with you, but are you a married man or single man or?
Well, I don't believe in personal, so you can ask me any and everything. I am a single guy.
Okay.
I am dating someone, but we're not married. I'm dating a young lady, and I like her a lot.
Okay. What does she think about the podcast?
At first, she was hesitant about it. But
it's the same story with every man, bro.
Yeah, she was more concerned about my mouth, because whatever comes to my head comes out my mouth.
Well, you're in the right place, because I'm telling you what, this is a goddamn, excuse my language, but this could fall off the rails real quick.
Yes.
I like that. I like people that's like me. And so I have no problem with it. But yeah, she didn't.
The other day when I talked to you on the phone, I had you cracking up because I said, man, you have no idea the dumb shit we talk about and how it completely, absolutely is sometimes the biggest shit show you've ever seen.
And I love that.
That's a good leeway into my next question here is, I know you saw our YouTube channels because, that day at the softball game, you said, yeah, I just got done watching your live stream, while we were in the car or whatever.
Yeah.
So how much of our content have you seen?
I've seen quite a few of them.
So what do you think?
I love it. I love it when you guys just get together and talk shit and hound each other. My question to you is, now, when y'all got together at Stadium, it was about, 50 people out there?
Yeah, at least 50 people, yeah.
Right around roughly 50, yeah.
How did you pull that off? Y'all have YouTube channels, and everyone out there had a YouTube channel, correct?
I'd say,
for the most part, I think, right, Pete? For the most part, about 90% of them have a YouTube channel.
I don't know the exact percentage or exact number, but yeah, I'd say at least 30 of the 50 people there had YouTube channels, and the other 20 were either just people that watched the YouTube channels or family members of somebody that came with them. So, but yeah, that's about right.
So how did y'all start doing it? I mean, how did y'all do a YouTube channel? Explain to me what made you want to do a YouTube channel.
Well, I can say for me at the time that I got on YouTube, I was very, very new to watching YouTube. I came really late, like when YouTube came out, whatever, 2007, I think it was. And I didn't start my YouTube channel until 2017. And I didn't even have a YouTube account to watch YouTube until probably 3 months before I started my channel. Once I discovered YouTube and I realized that there was other idiots out there that were about my age and that were going on there and making a fool of themselves talking about college football, because that was my main reason for getting on. Was I loved college football and everything about it and loved talking about it, and I could have talked about it for 24 hours a day if you let me. And so one day I just decided, you know what, what the hell, I'll give it a shot, you know. And so I started making some college football videos on YouTube, and it just sort of snowballed from there. I never would have imagined ever that I would be on YouTube, ever.
Yeah, I started watching YouTube, and I joined in February of 2016, and then I started a YouTube channel roughly 2.5 years ago. I got talked into it by a bunch of my damn idiot buddies. They were like, "Man, you're fucking, you know, you get on here rambling and shit, and the shit you say, man, you need to start putting that shit online." And now I'm thinking to myself, I probably should have never done it, because, you know, you tend to make a fool out of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta say shit on, you know, you fucking wish you wouldn't have said.
Well, I really enjoy it. I mean, that's a great idea that y'all just expressing yourselves and you decide to put it on YouTube and go live with it. That's a great idea.
You do sacrifice some things personally, I think. I think that, well, I can only speak for myself, but I do know some other people in the sort of the same position as me, is that family members don't always agree with what you're doing on the internet, you know, especially if you're a married man like myself. So getting over that hump, I think, is not easy to, you know, in the beginning, because most people are private. They don't want their business spread all over the internet, and that's completely understandable. Because people have personal lives, and they, some people are more private than others. As far as I go, I just don't have any shame or an embarrassment. I mean, I whatever that gene is where you get embarrassed, I wasn't born with it.
Me either, PigskinPeete. Me either.
So
I can imagine the damn stories that your wife and my wife fucking sit there and talk about us and be like, "God damn, we married these fucking stupid assholes."
Yeah. Hey, that's a good point, because whenever my wife was complaining about what I was doing and saying on the internet, I said, "You knew that before you married me." So, you know. True. But she's actually been, listen, I'm giving her a hard time, but she's been very supportive of me. And
that's why my wife's been. She sees me down here, she just leaves me alone. She just walks upstairs and just, leaves me be.
That's great. That support system means a lot.
Yes, it does.
She don't. Oh no, there's some nights. Trust me, it's a work being around this house. I'll be honest with you.
So, I can imagine.
How do you want me to refer to you, Mr. Rucker or Chinwagon? I mean, how do you want me to call you? Because I don't want to call you.
Call me R-U-C-K, Ruck.
Ruck. Okay, Ruck. That's perfect. All right, Ruck, you just got done saying that your podcast is about anything and everything, and you guys talk about difficult subjects, and there's nothing you'll shy away from. So give me an example of that. Like, what's one of the more sensitive subjects that you've discussed on your podcast before?
Oh, wow.
I
had this one podcast called Dear Mama, and it was about two adult ladies that was extremely mistreated by their mom. Extremely mistreated by their mom, because I used to always tell everyone, you only have one mom. You got to love your mom regardless. No matter what she does to you, it's still your mom. Respect her as your mom. Well, after doing those ladies' stories, I changed my mind, because what they went through was horrific. You need to listen to that podcast, Dear Mom. It's amazing.
I will.
Really, it's really, it touched my heart deeply, because I'm not, I had a great mom. Mm-hmm. So I'm not used to a mom not being a mom.
Right.
And to hear their story, their mom totally was not a mom at all. at all. So that's one of the touching stories I had. And I also had a story about people that this guy did 20 years in prison. Now, I'm in law enforcement, so I know that when you do a long stint time in prison, you become institutionalized. And it's a revolving door. You don't know how to act in the civilization. But this guy did. He did 20 years, came out, and he is completely successful now. He even the chaplain for the police department. That's crazy. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's not that guy that was on Joe Rogan's podcast, was it?
No. You're talking about the guy that was locked up for almost 30 years for a murder that he didn't commit. That's what you're talking about.
The guy on Joe Rogan's podcast last week.
Yeah.
And he did 22 years.
Wow, this guy did 20 years.
Yeah, his story was absolutely phenomenal. You know, he learned all that law in prison and actually got out and went to law school, became a lawyer, and that's what he does now.
Well, I mean, he studied law in prison and represented himself in his own overturning of his case. I mean, that's that's really impressive. And
that is impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good story. I watched it on Joe Rogan's podcast the other day, and he was very professional and very forward, and he, basically explained how corrupt this one cop, in New York, and how all the cases that he was going back and looking at, was to him. No case had his name on it.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. So what it was there was this racist piece of shit New York cop that basically set up a bunch of people and got him put in prison for murder and stuff. And he was a real piece of shit. But
that fucking ass bowl of society, what he was doing to people.
So I'm glad you said that, because that leads me into my next question for you, because somebody on my show earlier today, my midday show, said, I was promoting the show for tonight. I said, I'm going to have a Ruck on, and he's a police officer. And so this guy said, so are you going to tell him how much you hate police? And I had to let him know, I don't hate police. I have been very outspoken, and anybody that knows me knows this too. I don't like abuse of power, and I don't like, you get what I'm saying, right?
I do. I totally understand what you're saying.
So I judge people.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Listen,
I understand that.
I judge people on their character and their actions based on just what uniform they wear. Now, I will tell you, if I get pulled over by a police officer, I'm giving him the least amount of information as possible, because I feel like he's trying to either take my money, via a ticket, or take me to jail, and I'm not trying to go to jail, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't answer questions, if you know what I mean.
But see, that's not a good thing, though, because you got to realize, if we pull you over, we're not pulling you over for no reason. We pull you over because you got a tail light out, a brake light out, or you fail to maintain lane. So your cooperativeness is key to how things turn out.
Yeah, I'll cooperate within the law. I'm just not going to give you anything extra. That's all.
Now, that, I understand that.
The first thing I do when I get pulled over is ask the police officer, why did you pull me over?
Right.
If he gives me a legitimate reason, like you were going 30 or 45 and a 35 or whatever, I'll say okay, and I'll give him my license and insurance. But if it's for something else that I didn't do, or something ancillary that like he feels like he's just messing with me, I'm not doing it.
But how you gonna be able to differentiate that? Because in your mind, you might feel like he messing with you, but he has a legit reason to pull you over.
Well, I know if he has a legit reason, because I know what I'm doing.
Okay, what if your tail light is out? And
then if he tells me my tail light's out, then I'll say okay.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me know that, and I'll get it fixed or whatever. But my point is, this, man. You're an officer, okay? So I know you've seen other officers do things they shouldn't be doing. I know you have. It's just human nature. Every single profession has people that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing at some point in time. Nobody's perfect.
I agree.
The difference between every other profession and what you do is you have the ability to take somebody's freedom away if you want to, and put them in a cage. And so I am extremely fearful. Let me tell you, I've had some I mean, I'm 41 years old. I'm almost 42. But as a young man, in my teens and into my early 20s, I had several interactions with the police because, I was a little, hooligan. I wasn't out there doing no crazy, breaking the law. But, I mean, I was a hooligan kid, like a little punk kid, like a lot of kids are. And so I did have a lot of interactions with police. And I had several interactions that shouldn't have happened that sort of gave me a bad taste in my mouth, which is what led to my mentality today.
Understandable.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's just based on my own personal experience.
See, that I don't mind. I mean, if someone had a bad experience with a cop and they have a certain way they feel about cops, now that is so understandable. But I went into a lot of people who had no bad experience with cops but hate cops. How is that possible? How can you hate something that you had no experience with?
Because it's perceived on social media and TV.
True. So
everybody.
See, those people I got problems with.
Well, everybody wants to drink that Kool-Aid. And that's the thing, I had family in law enforcement. I had an uncle that was in law enforcement for over 25 years, and he come home for lunch, caught his wife in bed, and he blew both their brains out. Now he's in prison. I mean, I've got several people in law enforcement. Hell, the sheriff of Bell County, I went to high school with. And we graduated. So, I mean, people are perceived over certain existence for cops and everything. And at the same fucking day, man, we all still bleed the same fucking color. But I agree with Pete. I mean, a lot of people have the most misconception of that badge. And on top of that, the guys that become cops and become law enforcement, it's something that they wanted to do. It's something that they grew up loving, and and it's something that there's a lot of them that believe in the system and believe in that badge and believe what they're doing, And there's some of them that are just absolute fucking scumbags.
I agree.
And that's just all. And on top of that, there is fucking assholes and scumbags in every fucking profession. I don't give a fuck if you're CEO of a major company or you're just a local fucking driver delivering beer and shit like that. Trust me, delivering beer ain't going to be my job because guess what? Half that shit to come to my house. I mean, that's just, but it's just perceived in a bad way. And, it's all fucking redneck noise. It's like that Alan Jackson song, who's being true and whose car's parked next door. Mind your own fucking business. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Nobody can do that. So, I mean, I don't know.
It's just, so somebody in the chat here says they ask silly questions like, where are you coming from, where are you going? And that's my point. Like, I'm not answering that question. If you say where are you coming from, where are you going, I'm just saying it's none of your business, man. It's a free country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally agree. But it's a reason behind we ask those questions.
Why? Because you're trying to find something to pin on them and lock them up, man. I'm not trying to get locked up, bro. I mean, come on.
That ain't always true, though. Say, for instance, if it came across the radio that a white Mercedes just left the scene real fast and did a hit and run, so now we pulling you over. We asking where you coming from. So if you coming from that direction, we know we have the right car. But if you coming from a totally different direction, then we have the wrong car.
So it's not if there's a white Mercedes that committed some sort of crime or allegedly committed some sort of crime, and I happen to also be driving a white Mercedes, that's not my problem. That other guy also has a Mercedes.
Yeah, I totally agree. But if it's a description, so we ask the question to try to see, do we have the right vehicle or not? And another reason why we ask a lot of questions is to get you talking.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I'm not trying to talk, man. I am not trying to talk to you. I'm trying to talk to you now because we're on the podcast and we're friends. I'm not trying to talk to you when you're in your official capacity and I'm in some sort of position where you might be able to take me to jail, though. That ain't happening.
I totally understand.
Hey, call me Donald Trump, but I plead the fifth, motherfucker. Hey.
Well, I'm going to give you some insight. In case you don't know, say that if I pull you over and I'm gonna give you a speeding ticket, but you said that you weren't speeding, so you tell me I'm not gonna sign that ticket. What do you think happens if you don't sign that ticket?
Probably take me to jail, won't you?
I will take you to jail.
Why?
Because sign that ticket is like your bond. You're releasing yourself from going to jail. So if you don't sign that ticket, you go to jail because you didn't sign that ticket. So just keep that in mind. Always sign the ticket and fight it in court. Don't fight it on the side of the road. Fight it in court.
Yeah, I know, but I'm pretty sure. And I don't know. Actually, it's been a long time since I've got a ticket, but
Good.
I'm not sure if in South Carolina they make you sign a ticket or not. Do you know?
Well, all states got different laws.
Yeah.
So South Carolina, they may not. But in Georgia, yeah, you got to sign that ticket to get released from side of the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Now, question for you with college football.
Mm-hmm.
Why did y'all choose college football instead of pro football or instead of basketball, baseball? Why college football?
Well, that's an easy.
Because honestly, we don't give a shit about NFL.
No, that's not. Well, that's not true for me. I do like the NFL.
Well, I know you do, but I don't.
Yeah.
It's all about college for me. Yeah.
I'm
But
more.
there's a lot of people on this community that are diehard NFL people, and there's some that just don't give a shit about it like me. I mean, I'll watch it just because it's something to watch on Sundays, but until Falcons get their head out of their ass and start fucking drafting fucking good picks, quit passing on fucking people, then maybe we'll get back into it.
Well, in the state of South Carolina, which is where I'm from and I still live, no pro sports up until 1995, and that was the Carolina Panthers, which is in North Carolina, but they call it a two-state team. But anyway, my point is, when I was growing up, there was no South Carolina pro team. So college football in the state of South Carolina and most southern states, for that matter, especially the small, more rural areas, college football is king. So that's the reason for me.
Okay. All right. I see. I'm like that too. I love college football, and I don't really care about pro. But like you just said, I look at it on Sunday because there's nothing else to look at. But college football is where it's at for me too. I love it.
Yeah, I watch I watch the Falcons, just because it's something to do. I mean, I'll get into it sometimes when they're doing pretty good, but I'm not like this one guy named Shady on the internet that's got 15 teams he's bandwagoning on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Peete knows I'm a dog through and through. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
So, Ruck, I'm assuming you're a Georgia fan, right?
You assume wrong.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Who are you? Who you like?
I'm an SEC fan.
An SEC fan?
Yes, I'm not a fanatic of anything.
Oh.
I'm just not a fanatic of anything. That's the best way to put it.
So you
But
just like...
I do think the SEC is the toughest and the best conference to be in. So therefore, I'm an SEC fan, except for Texas A&M and Missouri. They shouldn't belong in the SEC.
Well, so tell me why you don't like Texas A&M and Missouri.
They just don't belong in the SEC. They need to stay in the Big 12.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the SEC, it should represent the Southern Eastern Conference. And that should be schools in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee. And to me, that's it. LSU, the Missouri, they need to make their own conference. I wish it would just stay with the SEC instead of branching out. Because Texas, Oklahoma coming now. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I don't know why, if it's called the Southern Eastern Conference, why is not Clemson, Miami, Florida State?
Yes, exactly.
Why are they not in the Southeast? I mean, we don't fucking need A&M. We don't need Missouri. And why is Texas and Oklahoma coming over here? I mean, that's really not considered the fucking Southeast Conference.
Well, the conference thing is, it's all politics, and there's a lot of history that goes into it. But the reason that Clemson's not in the SEC is because South Carolina was instrumental in making sure that didn't happen after South Carolina joined the SEC. They didn't want Clemson in there.
Wow, they should be. And it's all about money. That's why Oklahoma and Texas come. It's all about money.
It's all about that money. That's all there is to it. I mean,
because that's where the money is, in the SEC.
It's in the SEC. That's right. Texas and Oklahoma are losing their absolute shit right now and their ass because of the conference they're in. I mean, that's just all there is to it. They're going to come to the SEC, and I mean, and I got news for you. It's going to be a rude awakening coming over here and having to play the fucking gauntlet schedule of the SEC.
Exactly. They're going to get manhandled.
I mean,
but the money going to be in the school's pocket, so who cares, I guess.
Yep. I mean, it's all about money. I mean, it's all it is, man. Like I said, redneck noise. You know?
Tell me this, where the name Slob come from? What the hell is that, Slob?
Well, slob is usually referred to a very lazy, out of shape human. And that describes probably about 90% of the people that are playing in that softball game. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it originated with the Slob Olympics, which we're going into our third year doing that. Okay. And the first one was in Atlanta. Last year, it was in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And this year, it's in my neck of the woods down in Charleston, South Carolina. Or to be more specific, it's in the Isle of Palms, South Carolina, which is right next to it. But anyway. Really all is a reason for a bunch of us to get together and have a good time. That's all it is.
See, I love that. I mean, I love the fact that y'all all come together no matter where it's held at, that y'all would travel and get together and have a good time.
Right. Yeah. Hey, man, you're invited. You should come to the next one.
You said it's in what part of South Carolina?
In March 5th through 7th. So not 5th through 7th. 3rd through 5th, sorry. It's in Charleston, South Carolina.
I will be there.
So it's about 5 hours from Statham, I think.
Okay. Yes, I would definitely be there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't live in Statham. I live in Athens.
Oh, okay.
I just work in Statham.
Oh, hey, bro, did you see? So after the softball game, we went downtown Athens bar hopping, a bunch of us.
Oh, hey.
Did you happen to see what happened there on my show or on Lou's show or anybody? I don't know who you watch on here, but.
Well, I'm subscribed to yours and Uncle Lou.
Okay. So anyway, to make a long story short, we went bar hopping downtown, which I already knew was a bad idea for a bunch of 40-year-old men. Because, down there it's a bunch of kids, college kids.
It is.
So anyway, we went to one bar. It was okay. So we wanted to go somewhere else. So we went to this other bar. And one of the people that was with us at the softball game ended up getting arrested, bro.
Oh, no. For what?
Well, see, this is the thing I was talking about. We're talking about grown men going down to college towns because I knew something was going to happen. I knew it before we even went, and I was even nervous it was going to happen to me. I was going to be the one to get arrested, and I wasn't even looking for any trouble. I was out to have a good time and, just hang out with my friends. But I know how young people are because I used to be young, and so it was.
Hey, can I say something right quick?
Yeah.
Hey, Ruck, I'm like you, man. I've born and raised right here in Athens, my whole life, and these guys, I try to tell these people, I was 30 seconds from going. I was upstairs getting dressed. My wife said, I just don't want you to go. And I said, you know what? This dick ain't going to suck itself. So I said, y'all just stay here.
Hey, so
I was getting ready to go. And I told him, I said, listen, when y'all go to Athens, it's nothing but a bunch of Brads and Chads and Terrys and Sherrys.
True.
It's a bunch of fucking, a bunch of young men with their shorts that's 3 inches from their nuts,
Right.
And they're all fucking part of this sororities that think their shit don't stink, and then you get your little blonde-headed girlfriends, you get them drunk on 2 drinks, and, they think they're fucking dating Billy Badass until you meet Billy Badass. So anyway, that guy started running his mouth and Jay had to do what Jay had to do.
Yeah, so here's what happened. Our friend Jay on here, Jay Shipes, he was outside at the front of this bar. There's like a little, roped off smoking area. It's a tiny little area. And he was out there smoking. And some college age kid, was flapping his gums at him. And he basically told him, go F yourself or whatever. He basically blew him off. And the guy got mad and started swinging, on him. But Jay, he didn't do anything to the guy either. He just grabbed the guy because he was trying to punch him. So he just grabbed him so he couldn't try to punch him anymore. And immediately, there was 3 or 4 police officers about 10 feet away on bikes the whole night. They were sitting right in front of the bar. And immediately they saw what was going on and they came over there and they arrested both of them. And Jay didn't even do anything. All he did was, the kid was trying to hit him and all he did was grab him. He didn't punch him or throw him or slam him. He didn't do anything. He just grabbed him so he couldn't throw any more punches. And so I went out with my phone and started recording. That's my natural reaction to that, right. is to start recording. And so I walked right up to the one of the police officers and said, I was like, what was going on? And he said, basically, we don't ask questions. Anybody involved in a fight, he said, even if you're just the person trying to break up a fight and you're not involved in it, we're taking everybody to jail. So that was it. That's what he said.
I'm going to tell you about Athens Clark County Police Department. It's a different breed of police.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's why I tried to tell them.
Yeah, they are. They are a different breed of police, and I don't deal with them at all. I really don't. I don't know how they getting trained, where all this is coming from, but they are a different breed of police. They take you to jail just because they want to take you to jail.
I have a theory. You want to hear it?
Yes, Mike. Yes, sir.
I have a theory that the college towns, whether it's Clemson, South Carolina, or Athens, Georgia, or Tuscaloosa, Alabama, I mean, all these small towns, and Athens not that small, not compared to Clemson, but you get my point. It's still kind of a small town.
Right.
I think they have orders from their superiors to say, hey, this is a college town, a bunch of rich college kids. Hey, if they're doing, if they're even involved in a fight, whether they're fighting or not, lock them up. I mean, that's revenue for the city. I think it's
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I agree with you 100%. That makes a lot of sense because I used to be a probation officer in Athens, and my caseload was college students. I mean, it was just a humongous caseload of college kids, underage drinking, fighting, shoplifting.
Yeah.
So you got a good point.
Yeah. But the problem was I'm not a college kid, and I was down there. I was like, this ain't no good.
Yeah. I can say everybody go to jail.
When I got that call from Jay at 4 o'clock, man, I thought I didn't go down there.
Do you guys have any objections to bringing people on periodically, one at a time?
Oh, I have none at all. I would love that.
All right, so the first person I'm going to bring on is Slim, my buddy Slim Shady Canes. He was not at the softball game, but he is, in fact, a slob. So he is one of us.
And that's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer?
Yeah, he's a Miami Hurricanes fan, and that's only the third worst thing wrong with him.
Well, actually,
What's up, Slim?
I felt I needed to come defend myself, because that's not at all what I said to you this morning.
It's exactly what you said to me. It's on video.
Exactly. It's on video. That's not at all what I said.
You said, are you going to tell Mr. Rucker or Ruck how you hate police? And I said, I don't hate police. I don't hate anybody.
That's not what I said. I said, are you going to discuss your miss and distrust with them? Was my exact wording.
I don't think that's true, but...
Tell it, Slim. Tell it.
Because me and Pete, our families have become friends over all this. And we've had conversations, just me and him, about it. And it's one of those things. I'll use an example. If he reads a headline about a story involving a cop, he automatically assumes that the cop's guilty.
That is not true at all, Slim. I look at the situation before I make a judgment on anything. I don't just read a headline and believe that somebody's wrong. That has never happened.
Damn, Slim, coming in hot, ain't you?
I mean, it's not true, though.
Once again, that's on video.
Yeah?
You've read a headline about a story involving a police officer.
No,
you're just like, it's going to make me mad.
Because when I'm reading the news, some of those headlines I come across, I already have read the story, a day before. And so I already have an opinion on it. But I don't judge anybody until I see what's going on. I'm not just reading headlines and getting mad at people. That's not happening.
So you do have an open mind when it comes to
Of course I do. Yeah.
Because not all of us are bad.
Well, see, I've tried to sway him because I spent a few years working DOC.
Oh, Department of Corrections. How do you like that, Slim?
We got a few members of this community that is either in the Department of Corrections or retired from the Department of Corrections.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't a terrible job. I make a whole lot more money driving a truck.
Oh yeah, there's no money in law enforcement. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Kind of sad, but that's a true fact.
I mean, unless you get up there like my wife's uncle was chief of police in the town we lived in for years. So you get up to his level, he did pretty well.
Right, his level. I agree.
So there's levels to this, though, Slim Shady. So it's either, and see, this is the thing that boggles my mind about talking about anything, whether it's something political or something like we're talking about with the police situation. So you either have to be one or the other, right? You got to either hate police or you love police no matter what they do, right? I mean, why can't there be some nuance to that?
Oh, I absolutely believe there is nuance to that.
Yeah, I mean, it is. You don't have to be either hate or love. You can be I can care less. I just don't, because I talked to a few guys, little teenager guys, and they just like, I just go the other way when I see police officers. I don't dislike them. I don't love them. I just don't deal with them.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. I don't, you know, hey, look.
I just think, like to use it as an example, people gripe about police officers profiling. That's how police work is done. I mean, guess what? They profile around where I live, but it's a bunch of hillbillies with meth labs.
But Slim, you can't run around preaching about how you're a constitutional person, and then when boundaries are crossed and rights are broken by police officers, you defend them.
I don't defend that at all. Never have. You've never seen me defend.
Well, I beg to differ, but okay.
Now there are incidents that we disagreed on whether or not something wrong was done.
But how would y'all really know that though? Because it's not like y'all know the law. So how would y'all know that something that has happened?
Well, most police officers don't know law either. I mean, they don't. You didn't go to law school, did you?
I didn't go to law school, but it's a difference between a lawyer and a police officer.
I know, but lawyers learn the law. Police officers don't. They learn how to lock you up and give you a ticket.
No, see, the difference is we enforce the laws. There's a difference in enforcing.
Yeah, but in order to enforce the law, you should probably know the law. And
see, we know the basic law. As far as we know that you can't break into this house and take nothing.
Let me ask you a question. How come every encounter you have with a person, you have to ask them for their identification, whether they were committing a crime or not?
Because you might be talking to Charles Manson. You want
yeah, but guess what? That's called freedom. Charles Manson's a free man until you can prove he's not. I mean, he doesn't owe you his ID just because you asked it for, to give it to you.
Okay, this is how the law works. If I see you walking down the sidewalk, and I approach you and like, hey, Pete, how you doing? I'm not Pete. Hey, sir, how you doing? Can I see your license? You can tell me no and keep.
I know. I'm gonna tell you no.
Right now, I'm gonna flip it though. If I get called to a scene that you are at, if they call me to your house because you done slapped your wife, and I ask you for your identification and you don't give it to me,
no.
Now you're going to jail.
If you're called to my home because my wife said I was beating her, so now I am suspicious of.
Right.
You got to have reasonable articulable suspicion that somebody's committing a crime. You know. Yeah, I know my rights, man. I'm an American. Why wouldn't I know my rights?
Oh hell! I heard so many people. I know my rights. They don't know they damn right.
I do though. I know my basic rights.
How many of your rights do you know?
All of them.
All right.
I know my First Amendment right. I know my Fourth Amendment right. I know my Fifth Amendment right. I mean, should I keep going? I mean, listen. The bottom line is we got.
How about one I brought up on the Midday show before? There's thousands, and YouTube is littered with videos of it. People saying that an officer cannot order you out of your vehicle on a traffic stop, and they absolutely can. That is a lawful order.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all.
I'm not saying you in particular.
What I'm saying is, in order to get somebody's identification, under the Fourth Amendment, you have a right to privacy of who you are. Period. Unless you are suspected of committing a crime, you don't have to show your ID to anybody. This isn't China or Nazi Germany or North Korea. This is the United States of America.
Democracy, not dictatorship, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
I know I am.
But also, you got to know the difference, though. That's the problem. If you're in front of a store that's closed at 2 in the morning, and you just sitting there, I got a right to be there because that's not normal for you to be there at 2.
Why? Who decides what's normal?
We do.
No, you don't. Sir,
yes, we do.
Being a police officer does not give you the right to decide what's normal and what's not normal. Suspicion, anybody could be suspicious of doing anything. Being suspicious is not a crime either, by the way.
It really is because
no, it's not.
Think about it. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you walk around people's cars, that's suspicious, right? If you walk around people's cars and looking in their cars, don't you consider that being suspicious?
You just said standing out in front of a store, not looking in people's cars. That's different.
Okay. We'll use the store. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. The store is closed. There's nobody there. So why are you outside that closed store standing there? That's suspicious. If it was open, then it's not suspicious because it's open. You could have went inside, got your drink, sit outside and drank it, whatever. It doesn't matter. But 2 a.m. when it's closed, I'm going to come down. I'm going to talk to you.
Well, that's fine. You come out and talk to me and say you're acting suspicious, and I'll say, okay. Then what?
And I tell you you need to leave. First, I ask you for your identification, and if you don't,
and I won't give it to you.
I would ask you to leave. If you don't leave, then we got an issue. We got a problem. But if you leave, we good.
Why do you have the authority to tell me to leave if I'm not doing anything wrong?
Because the store is closed. It's 2 a.m. You have no business. That's suspicious. You have no business being there. You might want to break into that store. If I turn around and leave you there and you break into the store, I'm liable. Because I left you there knowing that you shouldn't be there at 2 o'clock in the morning. Right? Think about it.
I'm just saying, if I'm not breaking any laws, if being there after 2 a.m. in that parking lot is breaking a law, then yes, tell me to leave and I better leave or you can arrest me. If I'm not breaking a law, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Tell somebody, whoever the legislature, to write the law different, then I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I mean, actually, he's right, though. He is liable in the fact that if he leaves you there and then you break in, that store owner can sue the police department at that point.
Exactly. And I'm not having that. I would take you to jail for loitering and prowling before I leave you there. Yeah, loitering and that's a law. Loitering and prowling. You cannot be there. So now you're breaking the law. But see, I asked you to leave and you didn't.
Well,
leave,
again,
so
like I just said, if you told me, because loitering is a crime, okay? So if you asked me for my identification and I said no, and I said, tell me what law I'm suspicious of breaking, and you said loitering, then maybe I would provide my ID. I'm not saying I don't provide my ID to police, because I have plenty of times. I'm just saying I'm not doing it unless I absolutely have to, for any reason. I don't want, even if I don't get arrested, I don't want my name in some database somewhere. Why would I? Who would want that?
You do realize you got a driver's license, right?
Yeah.
So your name already in a database.
I'm talking about a database as far as some sort of police activity. I don't want that.
Oh no, it doesn't work like that. Just because we run your license.
Yes, it does. Of course, it does. Somewhere. Every police interaction, if you run my license, it's documented somewhere.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Then why get my ID then if it's not? Why get my ID if it's not documented somewhere?
To make sure that you're not wanted.
Oh, see, this is what it all comes down to, right? You might have committed the crime in the past that we don't know about, so we're about to find out right now. Nah, fuck that. Yeah, hey.
You might have a warrant on you for it.
Yeah, you might, but that's none of your business. I mean, you know?
Okay, think about this. I'm going to give you a good scenario to think about. Say I come across you, and I ask for your license, and you give it to me. And I run your license, and you committed 2 murders in upstate New York. Now I got you.
So this is how you justify. So we could just. So this is what you should be able to do. There, you should be able to walk down the street like it's Nazi Germany and just ask anybody to see their IDs in case they're a criminal and lock them up, right?
No, that's against the law. You can't do that.
Well, I know it is. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. I'll just give you an example. If I ask you that and you give me a license, then that's why we asked it, just in case you are wanted in a way that you did a crime. It's a warrant.
You cannot ask somebody for their ID just to make sure that they are have a warrant for their arrest. That's illegal.
I can't ask. You don't have
you can ask, but they don't have to give it to you.
You're right. They don't unless I'm called out for a crime scene.
Doesn't matter. Are they suspicious of committing the crime, or are they just somebody that was there?
Like I say, if you slept your wife, I'm therefore you may have committed a crime. So now I can ask for your license and don't give it to me. You're going to jail. But if I just see you walking, yeah, you're right. I can ask for your license all day long. You don't have to give it to me. You can tell me to fuck off, and I can't even lock you up.
Well, no matter what happens, I don't have to give it to you. I mean, you'll definitely arrest me at some point, but I don't have to do anything.
True. Yeah, you're right. I totally agree. You don't have to. You just lose your freedom if you don't.
Yeah.
And just think about it. You could just give me your license. I could have ran your license. No warrants. You could have went on by your way. But you want to prove a point that you don't want to give your license to a cop. So therefore, you risk of going to jail, losing your freedom for no reason.
I see people say all the time, "Why don't they just cooperate and give them their ID? And if they didn't do nothing wrong, they don't have nothing to worry about." But it's because no, it's not exactly. It's because why? Listen. There's a Bill of Rights for a reason, sir, and we have certain freedoms here. I mean, period. And just because you ask for my ID, I mean, listen, I'm not talking about you personally. You seem like a nice guy, Ruck. I like you. I'm not even saying any of that. What I'm saying is, from me to another man, you don't have any more right to my freedoms than I do. So
I agree.
I'm not cooperating just because it's the easy thing to do. It's on principle.
But I'm a law enforcement officer. You're not.
So you got some kind of magical power over me because you're a law enforcement officer? No.
Yes, I have some.
No, you don't. You got no power over regular people. You're just one of us.
I got arrest powers.
I know you can arrest people. I know.
Yeah, so you can do a citizen arrest, but I went to the police academy to get those arrest powers, which called now mandated to make arrests. So I do have a certain power over the public.
Yeah, it's a power that I don't really like, to be honest with you.
I understand. I totally understand. I mean, someone that has the right to take someone's freedom away,
Yeah.
it could be kind of shady, but you got to trust the system. It's just like if you
No. I do not trust the system, sir. I mean, we can go ahead and get that right now. No.
So you do not trust the system.
No.
So are you a sovereign citizen? That's what it sounds like.
Hold on now, bro.
Sovereign
No,
citizen?
I'm not a
Just
sovereign
asking.
citizen. Sovereign citizens believe that they don't have to adhere to any laws or anything. No.
Slim, doesn't that sound like what we're hearing? Was Slim gone?
Mm-mm.
Doesn't that sound like that's what we're hearing right now, Jess? Like a sovereign citizen? He just
I'll bring Slim back
explain
in.
what a sovereign citizen is.
No. A sovereign citizen is somebody that believes that the United States laws don't apply to them. And that's not me.
So if I ask for your license because I have a legal right to be there, you feel like it doesn't apply to you.
It would depend on what circumstance you were asking for my ID.
See, that sounds like a sovereign citizen.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like somebody. It sounds like somebody who's not just going to fucking bend over and give their identity to some stranger. That's what it sounds like. I mean,
No, I mean, I have a uniform on, a badge.
I don't give a shit what uniform you got on, man. I don't know you, bro. I mean, you asked me for my ID. Okay, give me yours. Let me see your ID. What you need my ID for?
Wow. Yeah, that sounds just like a sovereign citizen.
No, it's not a sovereign citizen. I'm not a sovereign citizen by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, it's close to it.
Close.
No, I'm not close to it. You guys don't even know what a sovereign citizen is.
Huh?
So you think that if somebody's overstepping their boundaries, and if you have a constitutional right to something, and you don't adhere to the other person who's violating that right, then you're a sovereign citizen. That's what you're saying.
No. Oh, no, I'm not saying that. But see, my
the
thing.
problem is, I think y'all are talking about two different things. Because, like, he's giving you a scenario where he would be perfectly in the right to identify you.
And he's still saying no.
And that goes back to the point I was making earlier, that some people think that they know in this scenario and that scenario what they can and can't do.
Right, but they're wrong.
And that's why I brought up the example of, being asked to step out of your vehicle on a traffic stop. It went all the way to the federal Supreme Court, Pennsylvania versus Mims. Because I have to deal with it all the time, because everywhere I go, I carry a firearm with me. So believe me, you want to find every dickhead cop in the world, carry a gun with you.
True.
I have ended up in the back of the squad car in cuffs for his safety after he disarmed me on the traffic stop.
Wow.
Now what Pete's generally getting to, and I completely agree with him, is, like, say in general, when somebody refuses a consent to search on a traffic stop, and then they hold you up there for a half hour waiting to get a dog there.
Oh, that's wrong.
And then all of a sudden you've got a dog scratching up the side of your car, and I have seen officers give dogs a command to alert.
Right. Yeah, now that is wrong, and it does happen, and that's totally wrong. Now that I agree with you 100%.
Now, I'm sure, like me, he would also know, like, say, for instance, I'll use Tennessee as an example, because that's where I live now. Without a justified reason, they can't hold you on that traffic stop any more than 15 minutes.
That's it. You're right. You're so right. They gotta let you go, but some cops don't.
I didn't even say anything about being pulled out of a vehicle. If I was pulled over and a police officer asked me to get out of the vehicle, whether I like it or not, I'm getting out of the vehicle. I'm not trying to get killed. You know what I'm saying? So
You would step out the vehicle,
yeah, of course I would.
but you wouldn't give me your license.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, Pete,
I would
that doesn't make any sense.
I will do something to preserve my own life. I won't do it to get myself incarcerated, though.
Giving your license to preserve your own life. You don't
Why
know how
should
that
I give
might
you?
escalate.
We're going to go in a circle. I don't know why, unless I'm committing a crime. And look, I know if you get pulled over for a traffic violation, you're required by the law to give your license. So I'm not. Like I said, I've always done that. If a police officer can articulate to me the reason he pulled me over, I'll give him my license. I don't give him any hard time. I'm not even talking about traffic stops. I don't know where Slim got that from. I'm saying in general.
As an example.
I'm saying in general. Let me ask you a question. So I told you the story about what happened to Jay in Athens, where he got arrested, but that kid tried to fight him, right?
Right.
So I went up and was talking to the police, right? So they could consider me a part of that situation, even though I wasn't. If that police officer would have said, hey, you know that guy, you were here, you witnessed this, let me see your ID. I'd tell him to go fuck himself. I got nothing to do with that. I didn't commit no crime.
Well, they don't ID witnesses. As a witness, I've never been asked for an ID because, like, for instance, that video I sent you, I was a witness to that. They didn't ask me for my ID.
Yeah.
I mean, they asked for a name and phone number in case they have to get a hold of me for anything, which, I mean, okay, I was a witness to it. I gave them. But they didn't even get my ID. Like I said, I was used that as an example because I think y'all were talking about two different things. You were talking about, you were basically just talking about a cop walking up to you randomly and asking for your ID, and that's not what he was talking about.
Yes.
I'm so sorry I lost connection there.
That's all right.
The last thing I heard you say was, if that cop had asked you, let me see your ID. And what you said from there?
I said I wouldn't have given it to him because there's no reason for him to ask me that. I wasn't involved in a fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. You didn't have to give it to him. I agree. But at the Clark County, might would have took you to jail.
Well,
And that's wrong. That's not right. I'm just saying, at the Clark County, might would have taken you to jail.
And you got departments around where I live that have that reputation too. Matter
Yeah,
of
I mean-
fact, the one I ended up in the back of his cruiser in handcuffs for refusing to consent to search because he pulled me over for a legitimate reason. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt,
Okay.
but that whole, like you said, that whole thing, you got some bad ones out there, and it got out of hand.
So did he claim to smell marijuana?
I don't know what he told the other one. He didn't tell me.
well,
Yeah,
Slim.
because that's the only reason I can think of that legally we have the right to search your car without your consent
I
if
know.
you smell marijuana.
Do you find that problematic?
I do.
Because you could just say I smell marijuana even if you don't.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
who's going to say that you don't smell something? You know what I'm saying? So that's fucked up, man.
I agree. Now I'm on your side with that.
Hey,
I agree 100%.
This is, but you got to understand, man, from this is the reason I don't trust police because I don't know who the guy who's coming to interact with me is. I don't know his intentions. He doesn't know me. I mean, I get it. It goes both ways. The difference is he's the one that has the authority to potentially either take my money or lock me up. That's all I'm saying. I don't hate police. I don't hate anybody.
Well, and if it came across this morning like I was saying you hate the cops, it's not what I meant.
Well, that's what you said, though.
I said, okay.
Okay, now I have a question about y'all Slob YouTube.
Yes.
How many of y'all get paid for doing what you do?
I'm pro bono, sir. I just sit here and be listening to everybody.
Okay.
You got a shop to...
Slim?
I don't make anything. I'm here to just get on Pete's nerves.
So Pete, you make an income doing YouTube.
I make enough to eat ramen noodles, sir.
So if I wanted to make income doing my podcast, what do you have to tell me? What I need to do?
Well, I don't know anything about the podcasting. I know you can make money on iTunes and Spotify. I don't do a podcast. I mean, I technically do, but it's on YouTube. None of my stuff is posted anywhere else. So all I know is about the money scale on YouTube as far as views and other things, and ad revenue.
At least 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours to get monetized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I think I'm gonna start putting mine on YouTube also.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. And then, there are 50 different ways to make money on it that way. And I mean, there are people, like Uncle Lou, I don't know what he makes. I ain't never seen his tax returns. But, I mean, he makes a living off of it.
Yeah.
Enough said. If you can make a living off of it, that's enough said.
Mm-hmm.
He pays his bills. He's got a decent enough vehicle that gets him from point A to point B. It does that. You can't knock it.
No, you can't. Not at all. Totally agree.
Oh no, there's some damn YouTubers that make hundreds of $1,000s a year. That's got millions and millions of subscribers.
That would be nice to do. That would be nice to just totally do this full time and talk about the law and that would be nice for me. That would be great. So that's the end game for me.
That sounds fun. I'm glad that. So what do you? Let me ask you this, man. So what are your coworkers? Your other buddies in the department. What do they think about your podcast? Do they know about it?
Oh well, I guess I need to explain something to you first. Statham, I work part time.
Okay.
My full time job, I'm an investigator for the DA's office.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So I see the prosecution side also.
Yeah.
And love it.
I know exactly what you do. My wife works for the DA's office.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
So
love it. Well, as far as the Statham Police Department, I mean, I haven't heard any gripe about it or anything. I guess they okay with it. I don't know. And I'm like you, Pigskin. I don't care if they wouldn't. I'm doing what I want to do. I enjoy it.
Exactly.
It's not interfering with my job. I'm not.
Yeah.
There's no kind of conflict with my job. So.
Right. I mean, yeah, you're not on there like giving out personal information and stuff about people.
Oh,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. No.
I don't even talk about it.
Yeah. Of course.
You know, somebody that would kind of be in the realm of what you're talking about doing, and has actually gotten pretty popular doing it, is a YouTube channel called Donut Operator. He was a cop for 10, 15 years, and got out of it and got into doing YouTube. And basically, what he does, he takes the big high profile cases that hit the news and stuff like that, and then he breaks it down from an officer perspective.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to follow him.
Yeah, check him out. And I mean, he's big on interacting with people, so how to make it bigger, he could definitely point you in the right direction.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that info. Thank you a lot. Now, as far as the DA, I talked to the DA himself about before I started this venture, and like he said, he told me he had no problem with me as long as I don't talk about the cases that are going forward. And I'm like, no, I want to do that. So yeah, no one has a problem with it.
So you do investigations on people to prosecute them?
Not really. My job is once the law enforcement themselves arrest someone, they give us the case file on it. I go through the case file to see how strong it is. And sometimes I go to the DA and like, we need to dismiss this charge because he should have never been arrested. And it happens. I have to find people. Sometimes the case takes 2 or 3 years to come to court, and the victims are no longer where they were at the time. I had to try to find them, locate them, serve subpoenas, and just make sure we got a good case to take to court. We don't want to take no bullshit to court.
Yeah, you don't want to lose.
I'm a sore loser. I don't like to lose. I like to win at everything that I do. And I know the attorneys don't feel that way because they just represent the public. But in my eyes, I'm trying to win. Now, I don't believe in...
I mean, technically, sir, you are a public servant. I mean, you should care what the public thinks.
Yeah, I mean, I do, but at the same time, I want to win when it's a good case. Now, if it's an iffy case and I'm not sure if he's guilty or not, I'm on the fence then. But when we got enough evidence and I know that he or she really did this, oh, no, I'm all about, you got to go to prison. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like someone that breaks the law, like a felon, they need to be locked up.
Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, if they go to trial and they get found guilty of something based on evidence, I have no problem with that. I'm not gonna bury him in the court of public opinion. That's a different thing.
Right. But you got a lot of people. Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is where me and Pete have a whole lot more agreement because I remember that 7 years was.
Hey, Slim, are you having a hard time hearing him, or is it just me?
Yeah, I don't hear Slim. He's breaking up bad.
He's breaking up.
Jesse, is that you with all that Bulldog stuff?
Yeah. All right, you sound good now, Slim, I think.
Sorry about that. What I was saying is this is where me and you have complete agreement because I've got a family member that serves off of nothing but his word against somebody else's word, and that was literally all the evidence of it.
He say, she say, and he went to court to trial?
Well, basically, no, what they talked a scared 19-year-old into taking a plea deal.
That's it. You're right. I've seen that too. And I really hate that part, because when someone's not familiar with the law and they're young and they're scared, that's why I kind of like where I'm at now, because when I see a case like that, I feel like it's my duty to talk to the DA and try to get him to see a different side of it. So I feel blessed at being in the position I'm in now, because I do have an open mind when it comes to a situation like that. I do understand.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that if somebody in your position is thinking like that. I think that's a good thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, man. You see, look, man, you seem like a guy of integrity to me. I don't know you from a hole in the wall, right? But I mean, you seem like a good guy. So I don't want to sound like this is not. I'm not trying to have any sort of conflict with you on here. That's not the whole point. I'm just speaking my mind on the way.
Love that.
I mean,
what you talking about?
It's just the way that I look at the way that I look at things through my own experiences. That's all.
And I love that.
Paxton, the reason I'm kind of just laying back and listening to Pete and them is because I've been drinking, and when I get to drinking, sometimes it's like Tourette's and vomit. Shit that comes out of my mouth is probably something y'all probably not gonna be able to fucking.
Yeah, you don't want to get Rodge on one, bro. Hell no. Hell to the no.
I'm about to say something that's probably gonna piss a lot of fucking people off, because I've been watching these comments, and there's a lot of motherfuckers in these comments that have been pissing on cops and fucking saying bullshit that's fucking absolute horse shit.
See, I don't know, man. I think it's a very popular subject.
It's a jaded conversation when it's death by association.
Right.
Well, but you're doing that too, Rodge, right now. You're saying that just because they're, agreeing with what I'm saying, that they hate cops too, and that's not the case.
No, I agree. Like we said earlier, it's definitely you can have definitely a nuanced opinion on it.
Of course, listen,
I'm fine with that. I just don't. I feel like sometimes, man, the law enforcement gets a fucking black eye.
I don't disagree with that. Listen, there is a lot of people out there that do really just hate every cop, no matter what. They don't know the person. That every cop is bad. That's just the end of the story. So I understand there is that group of people. I think that's a very, very, very small minority of people, and most people that feel the way I do are rational people, and they don't hate anybody. It's always the craziest that seem to be the loudest group of people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, man. It's like I said, it's death by association. I mean, if you're in one group, you get judged by being with that one group. If you're on another, it's fucking the same bullshit we live in today. If you're part of one fucking crowd, like in this YouTube community, we're on this side. Everybody hates us on one fucking side. Right. And when shit hits the fucking fan, everybody wants to put the blame on one motherfucker. Well, how about put the blame on yourself? If you act like a fucking stupid idiot and something fucking shit hits the fucking fan, well, then you take the fucking blame for it.
That's it, Jess. That's it.
It's all about self-responsibility. Now, listen, I'm the same way you are, Pete. I have the most respect for law enforcement. I have my rights. They have their fucking rights. And they start running their mouth at me, I'm going to run their mouth back. Now it's probably not going to end good. I've had my run-in with the law, and trust me, I've been in jail plenty of fucking times. But I just disagree with some of the comments about fucking police officers. I'm not going to let, 4 or 5 bad fucking officers ruin the integrity of our police fucking force. There's a lot of shithead cops out there.
It is. I agree.
But at the same fucking time, if you just mind your own fucking business and take personal responsibility, then
it goes a long way.
Well, and here's where and this is a topic I've actually changed my mind on over the years, because I used to be, I very much used to be, I hated all cops because
wow, I did not
experiences. I very much used to be. I grew up in the projects, the only white kid in the projects, which is rough enough. But then, you know, I've literally had cops tell me that, you know, me and a buddy of mine a white guy and a black guy walking down the road together looks suspicious.
Yeah, but see, that's what I was saying to him earlier. Like, who decides what's suspicious?
Yeah.
But and like I said, he was talking about, I think he was giving you legitimate examples of what would be. And that would be one, like you said, where, you know, there's no legitimate reason.
If I'm a police officer and I see a white kid and a black kid hanging out together, why do I have any association they're up to no good, or I need to question them or even talk to them? Maybe they're just good friends.
Exactly. You're right. You don't have no right.
We were in high school, got pulled over, and the vehicle got searched because, I mean, we were 16, 17. We didn't know nothing. And they flat out told us that two white guys and a black guy riding together looks suspicious.
Wow.
I mean, straight up told us that.
I mean, hell, the high school I went to was predominantly black. I should have been arrested 35 fucking times in 4 years, then. I mean, hell, half my friends today are black. I don't look at them any fucking different. Now there's a lot of them that you know, dabble in some shit that I don't want to be a part of, and I keep away from. But a lot of my white friends are that way too.
Yeah, crazy people come in every color, man.
Look, there's a thug in every race. It don't fucking matter if you white, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, fucking Pakistani. It don't fucking matter. I mean, that's the problem we have today. I mean, I don't know, man. It just really, it fucking pisses me off. I understand the judgment of this, and trust me, I do it all the fucking time. I'm guilty by association. I look at a motherfucker and be like, yeah, you know what, that dude's a piece of shit. But I don't know that motherfucker from a hole in the wall.
Right.
He may be a fucking stand-up dad. He may have a great fucking job, but his personal appearance makes me think this motherfucker's up. You know what I mean? Like, so I get it. Trust me, I fucking get it.
I mean, that's the definition of profiling somebody. When it comes to the law, if you're profiling somebody because, you know, to you they look some sort of way, that's not good.
Yeah, but like I said, it goes back to, I mean, literally how it's done. I mean, like I said, you know, it's one way in another area. In the area I live, it's all these damn hillbillies cooking up meth labs.
Yeah.
You profile based on the crime that's going on in the area you control.
Well, that's illegal.
You know,
I mean, what you just described is completely illegal, Slim. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Profiling based on
is illegal.
Profiling based on what area the person is in is completely illegal.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're not. I mean, we're not supposed to profile, but that's human nature.
It's human nature.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
See?
You know, facts, Jack. Yep.
And I'm glad you said that. You're being honest. It's human nature, but it's also illegal. I mean.
Well, and I mean, I was basically making the same point. I was just saying it's how it's done. So human nature, I mean, whatever, same thing.
Yeah, true that. But I mean, I hate that you feel that way, Pete, but I understand it.
Well, I hate that I feel that too, but it's reality.
It is.
It's reality. And, you know, I like I said, I can only form my own opinions off of experiences that I've had in my life. And unfortunately, I've had some negative experiences with the police. But I am smart enough to look at the police and know that, you know, they're not all bad. I never have thought that. I'm rational.
I appreciate that.
I'm just not going to voluntarily cooperate with something that I shouldn't be cooperating with unless I feel I should. I mean, and I feel like that's my right to do that. That's all.
Right. I understand that. That's
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say is I agree with that shit. I'm not saying you should, you know, I mean, goddamn, I mean, I'm not saying you should be fucking ignorant and, you know, and sit there and argue, but at the same fucking time, you have the right to do where, you know, you do what you need to fucking do to feel like, you know, that you need to do as a person. You know, if you feel like it's going to be fucking is wrong, then you stand up and fucking tell them, no, I'm not doing it.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I completely agree with the people that go out and film interactions, and then a cop wants to cop an attitude with him for filming it. It's like, dude, hang up your ego. They have every right in the world to film you.
Yes, they do.
Leave it be.
I mean, because the cops should have a cam on their body cam on them anyway, with filming himself. So,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes those cameras malfunction at the wrong times, if you know what I'm saying, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I mean, flip side of that too. I mean, there's the internet's littered with stories of where, that camera proved that the cop was telling the truth and the person was lying about it.
exactly. That's why I love my camera. I turn it on every time because
Dang.
people will lie on you because
Dang.
they hate cops.
Yeah. Well,
you got all these videos out here. I can't think of the few channels that I watch. When these guys are running around with a goddamn machete and shit, wielding this shit at fucking the cops or whatever, and doing all this crazy wacky bullshit. When you're told to fucking stop and get down, get the fuck down.
Yes, and when you don't, we shoot. Now we in the wrong. What kind of shit is that?
well, look, if you're wielding around a machete, yeah, I mean that's something different there.
Yeah, but the public.
A bunch of them. I've watched thousands of these videos, and there's a lot of them. I was really pissed at the law because they could have dealt with it a different fucking way. They could have really dealt with it a different way. They could have really, de-escalated the fucking situation, but instead, they were pushed to the point where, when you tell a motherfucker get down and tell them stop and put your hands behind your back 35 times, it comes to the point where you're being so belligerent to the point where I'm not saying that what happened to some of those people shouldn't have happened. I think it should have been a lot better.
Right.
But, at the same time, I mean, goddamn, what the fuck do you, if I'm sitting there as a police officer and I don't know what the fuck's going on and all of a sudden this guy starts running after me or whatever, I'm putting a bullet between his eyes. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm protecting me and my fucking family.
Because you want to go home to your family like everybody else want to go home with their
And
family.
this guy right here decides to get out here to run his fucking, run around and do what the fuck he wants to do. That just shows you he don't care about anybody around him.
Right.
It doesn't even take a situation like that. I mean, last time I looked it up, traffic stops and DV calls were the number one killer of cops.
Yeah, because they're most dangerous. Those two are the most dangerous situations. Just comply. Yeah, I know Pigskin don't want to hear that.
Just comply. No, I don't like those words at all. No.
Love it.
Well, to his point, and that's part of the reason I've changed my mind on it, because I found out through a bad experience that, okay, I didn't fight him there, and I ended up fighting it in court, and that guy's not a cop anymore.
There you go. Fight it in court. That's the way you handle things. You don't fight it on the side of the road. Take it to court.
I know Pigskin's probably going to be pissed when I say this.
Say it.
I love Peete to death. I consider him one of my best friends and a true brother. Best thing you can do is just shut your fucking mouth and comply and get on down the fucking road.
Amen.
I'm sorry.
And listen, I've been
Look, man, I don't know what I really don't know any other way to say it other than deeply ingrained in my DNA is not complying with pretty much any type of authority. So I don't know what else to tell you. If I am in some situation where I know that I'm in the wrong, then I will comply. Otherwise, I'm not.
But see, that's the problem, Pigskin, because perception is key. You may perceive that you're not in the wrong when you really are.
Well, I know whether I'm in the right or wrong because I'm the one in it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Someone on
That's
the
not a
outside
problem.
might see that you totally wrong, but you don't see it. Think about that.
I know if I'm committing a crime or not, sir. Okay? I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. So if you want to come and tell me that I am, that's one thing. I already know if I am or not. So if I'm not complying. If I am, I'll comply. It's very simple.
And to his point exactly, I got myself in that same situation, about 2 years ago, matter of fact. And it set me off, and I could have got myself in trouble. Luckily, I didn't, because it was a game warden, not a regular patrol officer. because it was when all the lockdowns and stuff were going on, and I decided I was going fishing. I'm at the boat ramp launching my boat by myself. This game warden drives up, gets out of his truck, says to me, that, you know, we're in lockdown the whole 9 yards. You can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
I said, the hell I can't. And he starts going on about how he can arrest me, this, that, and another. I was like, well, I have to let you know because it's the law. I've got a gun on my hip. I flat out told him we'll both end up on the 5 o'clock news if you think you're taking me to jail for going fishing.
You do have some caught that abuse the authority. Instead of just talking to you and explaining to you what's going on, and he want to take you to jail. Yeah.
Well, that was also one where I wasn't hearing nothing about no lockdown. I didn't care about them.
My next door neighbor is a police officer, and he's a really good guy. I like him. You know,
Good.
and if actually, no kidding, the other day, I had some sort of personal issue that I was dealing with, and I confided in him about it, and he gave me some really good advice about it too. So, you know, like I said, this isn't a police hating thing. It's just a principle thing with me. That's all it is. And
Right.
Oh, I agree, man. We all got our principles. We all believe what the fuck we want to. I mean, this is why we're all fucking friends. I mean, we've been doing this for years. We've been arguing like this. I mean, there's people like me and Lou. I love Lou to death. I consider him one of my best fucking friends on this earth. I've hung out with him several fucking times on the side and shit. But me and him are one of the most opposite sides of fucking politics. That's what happens. That's why we get along so good, man. I mean, Pete believes
we can actually have these conversations with each other and not think that we're a piece of shit.
yes, exactly.
Exactly. I love that.
I believe what I believe. Pete believes what he believes. Slim does what he does. You know, Ruck, you do what you do. Everybody's got their own fucking personal opinion, but we're all goddamn grown men.
Exactly. We got to respect that. Respect each other's opinion. That goes a long way.
I mean, that's the problem. It does. It goes a long fucking way. And trust me, like I said, Slim and Pete, and there's a lot of motherfuckers in that chat that I know personally that's been to my house that comes over. And, you know, I don't agree with what they say, but that don't mean I don't like them.
True. Just respect what they have, what's in their mind. And that's what when I police, that's what I do. I respect everyone's opinion. That's why I told you, Pete, in the beginning. I'm fine if you don't like cops. That doesn't bother me.
No. But that's not true, though. I don't.
It's not true. I was just making that statement when it was first brought up. I'm like, I'm fine with that.
Well, first of all, sir, I wouldn't be here doing a podcast with you if I didn't like cops. I'd just be like, fuck that motherfucker. You know, I mean.
I got you, babe. I got you.
I mean, it's great, man. I mean, that's the problem is, I mean, you know, you got these motherfuckers out there running their wall pissers, you know, behind an internet troll account that don't really want to come out and say and get in these streams and talk what they want to talk, you know, and be a goddamn grown man. You know, and that's the problem. I mean, when you start talking to grown fucking men, you know, you better fucking look your shit up and better know it. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, I ain't the smartest motherfucker in the world. I'm going to tell you that shit right now. But at the same time, you know, I'm not going to sit in here and let somebody, you know, run over somebody, you know, and tell them, you know, that their beliefs are not right. I don't believe this and that. Now, I don't believe in what some of the people said, but that's their opinion. That's their opinion. I respect it.
There you go. There you go.
You know what I mean?
And that's how it should be. There's a lot less of that going on in the world, unfortunately, now than there used to be. But
I like Elijah Allen. He said the Georgia State Patrol is the most overpaid D-bags of all time. Sir, do you know what you have to go through to be a Georgia State Patrol agent?
8 months of training. Rough training.
You know, the Georgia State Patrol is respected as the highest authority of the police out here. Hunter, you can say what you want to about the Georgia State Patrol. I'll be honest with you. I had 2 uncles at the Georgia State Patrol. They don't have, listen, their job is to protect the highways and make sure everything's flowing. They're not gonna pull you over for no bullshit. You're not gonna waste Georgia State Patrol's time. And the shit they got to go through, they deserve that fucking pay.
I agree, 100%.
Their fucking shifts are brutal. Are fucking brutal, man. So I mean,
I still question.
Like I said, I like Elijah Allen. I do. He's a Georgia boy. He lives up there in over Dahlonega, Georgia. But that's his opinion, and I respect it. He's still my friend, though.
Well, I saw a question that asked me how long have I been in law enforcement. I've been doing law enforcement for 20 years.
Oh.
I started out as a correctional officer in the prison system. I did it for 6 years. Then I did probation for 4.5 years. And I've been a sheriff deputy for about 5 years. And then I was a police officer for a couple of years. So I've done basically every form of law enforcement, almost every form of the basic level of law enforcement that there is to do. And now I'm on the DA prosecution side.
I'm going to ask you another sensitive subject because I just got to.
Talk to me.
All right. What do you think about the thin blue line?
It all depends on what you mean by what I think about the thin blue line.
It's the American flag with the thin blue line that goes across it.
Oh, I love that flag.
Why?
Okay, I love law enforcement.
Okay.
I love the law.
Right.
And the reason I love the law is because it applies to everyone. I don't care you poor, rich, black, white. It applies to everyone. There's no discrimination when it comes to the law.
Well, that's not true at all. But what does that have to do with the flag, though?
That is true because if
there is, of course, sir. Do you think there's not discrimination against people under the law based on class and race and social structures?
No, I do not.
You don't?
I do not. Now listen to what I'm saying, though. I'm not sure you follow me. If a rich person break into a house, they go to jail. If a poor person break into a house, they go to jail. The law is the law. They broke the law. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I understand that part.
What happen once they go to court?
I'm asking what the thin blue line on an American flag has to do with any of that.
Because the law is the law of the land. It's without the law, you will have chaos.
What's that got to do with the flag? That's what I'm asking you. The thin blue line flag. What's that got to do with anything? What is that about?
See, to me, they go hand in hand. The American flag and the law goes hand in hand. That's why I say it's just a mesh of the two. So you got the American flag, you got the law.
But you don't see lawyers or judges flying the thin blue line. You see police officers flying the big. So you're saying it's about the law, but
you don't consider all us the law, the judge, the lawyers, and the law enforcement. You don't consider all.
But judges and lawyers don't give a shit about the thin blue line. Only police officers do.
I don't think that's true.
What's the line mean?
To me, it's a brotherhood.
A brotherhood. So a gang.
Yeah. We all do. We are the largest, the biggest gang in the United States.
The biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brotherhood.
Yeah, gang.
That's exactly what it is.
So it's a gang. So the thin blue line flag is a gang flag.
No, I didn't.
Of course
say that.
it is.
I said to me, it's a brotherhood. I didn't say it one time.
Well, a brotherhood is a gang. I mean, motorcycle gangs are brotherhoods, right? The KKK, they probably consider themselves to be a brotherhood.
They are a brotherhood, yeah.
So it's a gang. And so that flag represents a gang. So it's a gang flag.
So, are you using gang as a negative term?
Absolutely, I
It
am.
would be a negative term.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would you consider?
You had the Little Rascals. There was a gang. They wasn't negative.
No, those were children.
Yeah, but there was a gang.
Those weren't grown men with guns.
I think fucking gang is a misused fucking term, anyways. I mean,
Okay, well, what about the thin red line flag that firefighters fly?
You got a problem with that too, Pete?
What? What'd you say?
The red line that firefighters fly.
Yeah, I don't. Why is it? Look, how about I just make a Pigskin Pete American flag then? I mean, why are people changing the
I
flag?
would fly that shit. I would fly it. Damn right. I see nothing wrong with flag.
So the thin blue line, I mean, it says it in the name itself. You're creating a line between you and the public, which you're supposed to be serving. So I don't think there should be a thin blue line, a thin red line, a thin black line, or anything. I don't have reason to change the American flag into something that it shouldn't be.
But that's not what it means. It's talking about the thin line between society and chaos.
That's not what it means at all,
Law
sir.
Enforcement, you're absolutely.
He just got done telling me what it means. He's the police officer. He said it means it's a brotherhood.
No,
and to
I did
me,
not.
yes, you did say that.
No, I didn't. Okay, I need y'all to vouch for me. Tell you what I said. I said to me, it's a brotherhood. I didn't say what it meant.
That's what it means to everybody. It's a brotherhood. It's a gang
I
flag.
can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for me.
It's the same way when the Crips fly their Crip flag and the Bloods fly their Blood flag. When the police fly the blue line flag, that's a gang. It's a gang flag. Same difference.
No, it's a big difference.
Is it though?
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Of
You know,
course.
I mean, to me, that just causes division. You know what I mean?
Because
I mean, wearing is he still there? You still there, buddy?
I can understand that.
Okay. To me,
Yeah, I see you. Sorry.
when you wear that, you're basically saying to the public. I mean, because you're a public official and you're in your public capacity in your public uniform, and if you wear a thin blue line flag on that uniform, that does not give a good connotation to the public. To me, it sounds like, hey, I'm looking out for this thin blue line patch, more than I'm looking out for you. It's a bad signal.
Someone that's not in law enforcement and they have that same patch, it's an issue. Because I'm hearing support. When I see that, that's support for us. When I see a civilian wearing a thin blue flag on their clothing or on their car, they support the police. They support law enforcement, and that's a wonderful thing. So when I have it, if I do have it, I don't have one. But if I did have one, I was just saying I support law enforcement. I'm not saying
I don't know,
that I'm
man.
different from. Huh?
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just support. I mean, you should have a blue flag on in your basement.
No, sir. Hell no. Hell to the no. No.
We're the good guys. We're the ones you call when someone is doing you wrong.
Yeah. Well, I've never called the police before, but
What? You never have called the police. So no one never have done you wrong in your life.
yeah, I just handle it on my own. I don't call the police.
I like you. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I handle it on my own and hope the police don't come looking for me afterwards.
I like that. I like that a lot. 'Cause
That's
a lot of calls we get are bullshit.
Yeah, it's better to ask for forgiveness.
There you go. We have to deal with a lot of bullshit calls. We get calls. My 10-year-old won't get up and go to school, and they call 911. That's bullshit. My
Damn.
husband, he keep cussing at me. He argue with me all the time, and they call 911. That's bullshit.
Damn.
Yeah, those are calls that we get. That's straight bullshit. Now I like the real calls when someone will knock someone out of their head. Yeah, call us. Call 911. Those are the real calls.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that respect, you're lucky that you never had to. You know, I've had 5 people kick in my front door when I was 14 years old.
See, and that's when you call 911 exactly. Because we're needed. Now, Pete, you said something about we here to serve. It all depends on what you mean by that.
Well, you're a public servant, sir. I mean, that's what I mean by it. By definition, you serve the public, not the government.
Well, I mean, some people take that serving the public too far. That's why.
What do you mean by? How do you take it too far? You're a public servant.
Because if you call me because you got a flat tire, what the fuck? I'm not gonna change your fucking tire. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a public servant in that sense.
Oh, all right.
We're here to enforce the law. But people call us because they out of gas. They had a flat tire. Their cell phone not working anymore.
Oh, yeah. I'm
I
not saying you
can't
should
find
be fixing people's cell phones or fixing their tires. No, I didn't say that. No.
But that's what I'm saying.
You asked me what
a public servant.
a public servant means. You serve the public. So
That ain't serving the public when you have a flat tire. You the public, your tire's flat.
a public service law enforcement officer. That's different than public. I mean, this is. You're not DOT, right? Or in South Carolina we call them SCDOT. I don't know what you call them. You know, I guess GDOT or something, whatever.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got here.
Yeah, GDOT.
G-Dot.
Yeah. So
I wish the people knew that.
yeah. People do stupid things, man. You know. Yeah, you guys. What was that news story the other day? Some guy called the damn cops because his hamburger was cold, and he ended up having a warrant for being a murderer or some shit.
That's dumb as hell.
See, now look, that guy's just dumb as hell to do that.
But think about this. In order for them to know that, they had to run his license. So therefore, he gave them his license when they.
Well, that's his problem. He's an idiot. Well, first of all, he's an idiot for calling. If you're wanted for murder and you call the police, you're stupid anyway. I mean, that's all there is to that.
No doubt.
I mean, that dude's a fucking idiot. You're asking for
Exactly. Stupid as hell.
I mean, there's an old saying that Ron Watt says, you can't fix fucking stupid.
Hey, so when you come across somebody like me who's like, "Nah, I'm not giving you my ID," what do you go? "Uh-oh, hey Bob, we got another one of these guys over here." That's what you say in it.
Now, Pete, I really hope that I hope things go well for you in life in South Carolina, because it kind of scared me that you feel that way about giving your license to law enforcement. Because
why would that?
like I said,
why? Hold on now. Now let's get real here. Why would it bother you about me surrendering my identity to another sovereign human being?
Sorry, human being. We law enforcement. We're not a sovereign human being.
Well,
we have the authority. Remember, you said that earlier, we have the authority.
you got the authority. No, you don't.
You said, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
But see, that's what worried me, because it's a lot of jacked up cops.
You have
out there.
you have the authority to work within the bounds of the law. That's
Right.
it. So, other than that, you don't. So you're just like me.
I'm not just like you.
Of course you are.
No, I'm a.
You have
I'm
some.
in the
You
police
got
academy.
you got
I'm nothing like
superpowers,
you.
bro.
Huh?
You got superpowers.
I feel that way when I'm in my uniform.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge problem.
I mean,
If that's the
couldn't tell
case.
when you saw me that day at the park. I mean,
Yeah.
my chest was big. I walked high. My head was held high. I know you saw all that shit. Yeah, I feel like a superhero when I'm in my uniform.
Oh.
Well, that brings up a question I have, and this is something that I have a problem with.
Okay.
I believe police officers should be in uniform, not dressed up like a Marine in Baghdad.
That's what I'm talking about, Slim.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about that, because
I'm
you gotta
talking
realize-
patrol officers, not narcotics units, not
Right.
gang units. I'm talking patrol officers.
Right, but you got to realize police come from the idea of a police come from the military. So,
I mean, we're not at war here, are we? On our American streets, we shouldn't be. Not with the public, right?
Well, we kind of are.
And I look
Are we?
at it as
We're
a
at war?
public
That's
perception
terrible.
kind of thing.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, we kind of. I mean, you trying to say there's no crime in America?
No, but
Think about it.
you just said that you're at war with the public. That's not
I
good,
said
man.
Okay, you do realize the public is the one that's killing people. You do realize that, right? It's not aliens. So, it's a civilian that killing another civilian, and that killing us also as far as law enforcement. So we kind of are at war.
So y'all are the victims, huh?
Sometimes we are the victim. I said sometimes, Pete. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes we are the victim. When we get a bogus call to come to a house because someone fighting, we get there and they unload, they start shooting us. Yeah, we are the victim sometimes. So
right.
it go both ways. I mean, I choose the profession to be a law enforcement officer. I choose to put my life in danger to help people. Not to be a service to the public, but to help people when they need help. That's why I chose this profession, because I want to help the one that can't help themselves.
Well, that's a noble thing. If you're in this profession because you want to help people, that's the.
And I am.
I mean, that's the spirit of what it's meant to be a public servant. And so, I have nothing but respect for people of that. But being a public servant, and I'm not talking about you again. I'm talking about other people. If public servants use that authority that's provided to them by the government to do nefarious things, or things that even cross the line as far as violating anybody's civil or personal or constitutional
Right.
rights, then I have a serious problem with that. So that's all. I mean, that's all there is to it. You know.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
it's not-
I'm the exact same fucking way, bro.
And here's where I'll agree with his statement about from a certain point of view, the cops are at war, because North Memphis is a war zone.
See?
That's just a fact.
Yes, that's a fact.
Memphis is absolute fucking. That's a fucking
Dude,
place.
I put it like this: Memphis, at last count, is number 2 in murders and shootings behind Chicago, and Memphis
Exactly.
has an eighth of their population.
Yes, exactly.
That wasn't even what I was saying. What I was saying is referring to a war as far as law enforcement versus the public or something like that. But that's bad. You don't need that mentality between law enforcement and the public that they're at war with each other, because it's not going to work out well for either side.
it all depends on where you are. If you're in Memphis, yeah, you need that mentality. If I'm in Stadium, no, I don't need that mentality. It all depends on where you are. If I was in Memphis, one of the highs, yeah, I'm gonna have that mentality because when I step on the street, I'm looking around, somebody trying to take my head off because I'm in Memphis. So it all depends on where you are. If you had that mentality, is that we at war on these streets.
Like I said, to an extent, I can see where he's coming from because, you know, I've literally seen it. Perfect example. It was about a month ago. 5 nights in a row, there were shootings on Beale Street. 2 of them were cops.
Yeah, appreciate that, you ignorant fucking troll coming in here trying to goddamn, you fucking piece of shit for putting that fucking name in there. You absolute piece of fucking shit for coming here and putting that fucking
What
name.
happened? Did I miss something?
Yeah, you did.
What happened?
I can't see the chat.
I mean, did somebody?
No, somebody came in the background and had a, you know what, so.
In the background? Are you talking about YouTube or on StreamYard? Because oh yeah, nobody can see that. Well, I mean, I haven't shown that, so yeah. I mean, people do weird shit. Yeah.
They can see it, but no. I'm not.
Well, whatever. Whatever that. I don't even look at that private chat. Anybody can come on that by clicking the link, and they can type whatever they want to in there. And you know, I get that every show. Every show, I get some idiot that comes in here and starts, you know, yelling the N-word. He's like 12 years old at recess on his his day at school, and he's on the playground with his buddies, and he goes, I'm gonna call into the PigskinPeete midday show and scream the N-word, and everyone gets a good laugh out of it because they all have terrible parents. But that is what it is.
Oh, Jess, somebody said nigga on this, Jess.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, it happens all the time.
Well, just in case they hear me, that word doesn't fucking bother me.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, you can say nigga all day long. That's just a fucking
Don't
word.
say, please don't say it on my show.
I'm sorry, my bad, Pigskin, but yeah, it's just a word to me. It doesn't bother me.
I know, but this is YouTube. So it's like,
Yeah, he's right. It does bother you too.
Life, man.
Yeah.
I grew up around it my whole life, you know, and I got to the point to where, you know, it's a word that just it's overrated. It's to the point to where I'm just fucking over it because you know what? Yeah, it's in every fucking rap song past and they say this, they that, but it's just fucking, it's downgrading the race. It's downgrading the people that they're talking about.
And see, I don't see it that way. I mean, to me, it's just a word. It doesn't mean anything to me. You can call me boy, and that'll bother me worse than that N-word.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Somebody can call me whatever they want. I know I'm not comparing myself to black people. I'm just saying, but if somebody calls me a cracker or whatever derogatory term for my race, I don't give a shit either.
Right, it's just a word. It doesn't bother me. I mean, because you got to realize, I worked in Madison County on the road, and I was the only black deputy on the road. And Madison County is predominantly white as far as the demographic. So I heard that all the time as I'm taking them to jail. You know, Ian, get out my town. Ian, you ain't nothing. You ain't nothing but an Ian. I'm like, yeah, watch your head. Don't bump your head while you get in.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a big pain. I mean, because it's just a word. But now, if you want to use that word and you want to put your hands on me, now I'm gonna have to fuck you up.
Yeah.
just don't touch me.
Yeah.
But that's the good thing about the little town we live in. You know, Ruck. I mean, it's just a one red light town. Yeah. It's a simple town. We all pretty much take care of everybody. Hell, everybody knows everybody. Yeah. I mean, it's great, man. I mean, so.
And I love it there. I was thinking about moving there because I love Stadium. I love it.
Yeah, hell, I just live right behind the police department over here. I mean, I'm right behind it, so.
Okay, well, I'll pay by your house a few times and didn't know it. As I'm patrolling.
Yeah, come on by next weekend. We're gonna have a big shindig over here, the duck hunt.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, if you get over there and you smell a bunch of weed, it's not Rodge, it's Jay. It's his homeboy. That's who it is.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I have to go to a football game.
All right.
But I really have enjoyed this. This has been so wonderful and so great. And I want to appreciate y'all.
You going to Athens, Clark County?
No, I'm going to the Madison County, Everett County game. I'm originally from Everett County, and I moved.
You going to the Granite Bowl?
They have it in Madison County. Yeah, they're gonna play in Madison County.
Okay.
Well, I'd love to come on your podcast solo one time once you get that set up that way. But the only issue is, if you ask me questions, I don't answer them. I don't answer questions. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, when I have you on my podcast show, we're going to just have a general conversation. I'm not going to ask you any questions. We just talk. We're going to keep the shit.
All right, that sounds good, man. Well, thank you for coming on, really. I enjoyed it. I think we had a good conversation. I mean, there was some people in the chat that got butthurt because they don't like to talk about real life situations, and they get their feelings hurt if somebody doesn't agree with what they say. So,
Right.
but the people on this stream, me and Rodge and Ruck and Slim Shady are grown men, and we can have a conversation without getting butthurt about it. So
Yes, we can.
Ruck,
Absolutely.
Ruck, hit me up sometime next week, man. We'll go grab a damn barbecue Sammy over at Eddie's.
That's what I'm talking about. I sure will, Jess. Well, I sure appreciate you guys. And you guys have a good day.
All right, brother. You be safe.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna go ahead and give him a real plug real quick. I mean, he was cool enough to come on and hung in there like a champ.
Yeah.
The name of his podcast, and he said you could find it on Apple, Spotify, anything, any type of podcasting service you can reach. It's Chin Wagging with Ruck. So that's ChinWagging WITHRUCK. Go check him out. That was interesting.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I consider him one of my personal friends. I've met him several times, and I've met Officer Michael Hood several times too. And I consider them two of my best friends on here, and they're good damn people, man. So like I said, hell, we live in a little bitty small town. Everybody knows everybody, and it's good we can have a conversation and and get people in here and have a damn good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, and then like you said, be able to have a conversation, and like we said, everybody has their opinion. Nobody's mad at anybody, and if you are mad, suck it up, buttercup.
Oh yeah, I mean, Pete, dude. Like I said, I love all y'all motherfuckers. And that's why I was quiet the whole time, because this is the first time we was doing it. It was kind of like a test run. We kind of didn't know where it was going to go. So I just sat back and let Pete do his thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Well, I'm not going to lie. When you asked me to do this, I was a little bit surprised that you asked me out of all the people to do this, because
the one reason I asked you is because he wanted to talk to you. Like he watched your shows, and he saw what you believe in and stuff like that.
yeah.
That's the thing, man. He's not that type of person. I mean,
Well, and it's like I told him. I mean, I have no problem with him.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was great conversation. Are you kidding me? That was fucking golden.
I think it's exactly like we said earlier. It's a nuanced opinion on it, and there are some nuances that all of us agreed on, all of us disagreed on.
Well, I mean, he even told me himself, it was unfortunate that I thought the way that I thought about certain things, and I think, honestly, that it's unfortunate that he thinks some of the things that he thinks, too. I mean, It goes both ways. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and everybody's civil, and that's all there is to it, so.
Yeah, I mean,
There is enough of that in this country these days.
We can all handle like grown fucking men, unless you got some of these motherfuckers that don't want to, you got your fucking opinion, you got my fucking opinion, but at the same time, you're still my friend. You know what I mean? I mean, you're not a true friend if you can't go tell your friend to go fuck herself.
Yeah.
Stealing my line, Rodge.
I mean, I'm being serious. I mean, if you're friends with a motherfucker and you get a little bit heated, you just say, "Well, go fuck yourself then," and then 10 minutes later, you're like, "Hey man, you want to drink a beer with me or whatever?" I mean, goddamn, it is what it is.
Well, I've said this to Pete before. You can't get two people in a marriage to agree on everything.
Well, the people in marriage don't agree on anything. Agree on anything at all.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I got told we're agreeing about some things. Does that count?
I guess. You take it where you can get it, I guess.
I think it was 50-50. I think it went both ways, brother. I think it was good points and that's bad points, and at the end of the fucking day, we all can still come together and hang the fuck out and be grown fucking about it.
I want to say something real quick. There's been a bunch of people in the back room the whole time that we've been on with Slim and Ruck and Rodge, but this wasn't meant to be a call-in show. I mean, I ended up letting Slim on because I knew that he was about to steer the conversation in a place that I wasn't willing to do, so he did it for me. And so he ended up staying on. But this wasn't a call-in show. I do have a show tonight at 10 o'clock, so in a couple of hours. So anybody who wants to call in and talk about anything, including what we talked about today, that's fine tonight at 10 o'clock. But as of for right now, I'm not bringing anybody else on, and I'm about to end the show because I want to go eat dinner and hang out with the family for an hour or so before my call-in show. So that's
Yeah, we've been on for 2 hours, so that's pretty good, man. That 2 hours went by fast.
It did, didn't it?
I'm glad I could be helpful, I guess.
We had a damn good time. Hope we do it again, man.
Yeah. Well, again, I'll be happy to have a conversation. You know what? I would like to go on his podcast. I know I was on there tonight, but I'd like to go on there like a solo deal on his podcast and talk to him. But I do appreciate him being open and honest. I mean, you know what? One thing I hate more than anybody is a fucking phony and a liar, and that guy definitely isn't one of those. I mean, he's very open about his feelings, and I do have respect for that. Whether I disagree with him on certain things is irrelevant. He's clearly a stand-up guy.
I talked to him, goddamn, what was it, a week and a half ago when I called you or talked to you, and I told him, I said, you when you get in this stream, you better be ready.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you don't realize where Pete's coming from. And I said, this motherfucker right here has got a way different opinion than what you think in person.
Yeah.
I said, I'm just letting you know this motherfucker's for real. And he's not going to let anything fucking... this motherfucker's not... He ain't going to fucking censor.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just letting you know he's going to give it to you 110%.
Yeah, I wasn't born with a filter.
Well, I told him, that's what I told him. I said, between the right ear and the left ear, I said, PigskinPeete's like me on certain things. I said, this motherfucker right here, I said, you better bring your A game. And
I'm the same way. I ain't got no filter either, but yeah.
No, I enjoyed sitting there listening to it. To be honest with you, I really did enjoy sitting there listening to the conversation with Peete and Ruck.
I hope everybody did, you know. So, and that wasn't even my intent. I mean, I didn't even know the conversation was going to go in that direction, but I mean, I just do whatever comes naturally on the show, you know.
No, I knew it was going to go that way, and I said that's why I wanted to do it on your channel. That way you can get a bigger platform and get views and you know, kind of promote you a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you. All right, well, gentlemen, I'm going to end the show because I'll be back on in an hour and a half from now. So
yeah,
or 2.5 hours.
Well, if I'm still up, I'll come over and be in the chat.
All right, thanks, Rodge, man, for setting this up. It was great, and I guess we could do it again. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, 10-4, buddy.
All right, buddy. See you later. Rodge. All right, Slim, thanks for coming on and mixing things up. That was very nice of you.
I'm glad I could be helpful.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Hopefully, if you'll be available tonight, I'll see you later. Hopefully.
Yeah, I should still be up. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Later. Well, there you guys have it, man. What an interesting show this was. I don't think I've ever done anything quite like that before on here. I mean, I've done some stuff. Anyway, it's like I said, I'll be back in about 2.5 hours for the live call-in show. Thanks to everybody who came out and hung out with us tonight. It was great. Thanks to Ruck. Thanks to Rodge, and thanks to Slim Shady, and thanks to all the other people that contributed. You're all amazing and fantastic. I'll see you in a couple of hours.